Hello, Uncle Roddus back again. Part 2 of my TradeMe experimental music purchases. Yeah, so in a recent video, actually, I'll just pop that on. On a recent video, I showed, and I haven't posted it yet, but I showed you 15 records that I scored on a TradeMe auction and of experimental and underground music. Really some pretty weird, sort of interesting music, most of which I was pretty much unfamiliar with. Now the seller who I did that sale through, he's actually a musician in New Zealand, and I'm actually playing his music in the background here, and I've scored some of his records in this latest purchase. So basically what he did was I'd missed a couple of earlier sales, but he was selling off his double ups, apparently, double ups and things like that. And like I say, a couple of records he sold me this time were his own albums under the various monikers that he works under. Now, I'll get to that soon. So yeah, this time the auction was for 20 records, and again the starting price was only $150, and I won the auction for that $150, so that's less than $10 a record. Like the last lot, a lot of the stuff is pretty obscure, underground, self-released, or whatever. Interesting, experimental, droney, noisy, electronic. I don't know. Some of it I've only had to listen to a couple so far since they've arrived. So I've got quite a few to get through. So what I'm going to do is I've got them all listed on Discogs, and I'll click on and bring up some information because I don't know very much about them at all. So let's start with this one. Now this one's quite interesting. I did have a listen to this online. So Cat versus Frog, and it's Kawaguchi Masami's New Rock Syndicate. And so obviously it sounds Japanese, and yes, it was recorded in Tokyo in 2006. So you can just double check the and on Palindrome Records, and it turns out, from what I can gather, that Palindrome Records is actually a New Zealand record label of sorts, although there's only about 3 releases of them listed on Discogs. But this is a New Zealand release from 2007 and listed as garage rock, psychedelic rock, and this one is on this white vinyl. And I did have a quick listen to this, I think somewhere online, maybe on YouTube, because I see there's a YouTube video for it. And yeah, I think from memory it was, that Japanese psychedelic madness that they are really good at. So looking forward to that. Yeah, interesting. So it appears to be a New Zealand only release. They do have, let's have a quick look at their discography. They do have half a dozen or so more plus records right up to 2018, so they're still about releasing music. Not a lot of information there. Okay, so looking forward to that one. Right, next one is this one here. So let me bring it up. I'll shut that down. Where are you? That one there. So now this one is Mosquito Time Was. I believe this is their first record. This is Jade Fair and Steve Shelley. So Jade Fair, I'm familiar with Jade Fair. He was in, I can't remember what bands he was in. Let's have a look. I know he was on what was it? Shimmy Disc, that's right, Shimmy Disc Records. Now let's see, I know I used to have some Jade Fair record, I'm sure, or something with him. What was the bands that he was in? Let's have a look. He was in heaps, half Japanese. I'm sure he was in something else that I used to have a record of, but maybe not. Can't say. So Jade Fair, Steve Shelley on this, plus another guy. And as I said, this is I believe their first record. Let me just Bring it up again. Time was from 1993. Smells Like Records. Yeah, so I can't tell you much about it. It is listed on Discogs as, let's bring it up, Avant-Garde Rock. So, we'll see. I'll get back to that one. Okay, this one. Right, what's this one? Here we go. Right, Yumi Bitsu. Wabi Morning, two morning expressions on Burnt Toast from 2003, listed as rock, acoustic, lo-fi, limited edition, no, it doesn't say anything, recorded in 2002. Yumi Bitsu, Portland-based space drone quartet. Oh, there we go, that sounds cool. It could be interesting. And this is their, it's an EP, single-sided, and it is etched on the other side. You're not going to be able to see that, but that's the etched side there, just on black vinyl. So that sounds interesting. It's going to be a long video, sorry folks. Stick with me if you're interested in underground extreme. Right, this one here is a compilation. And this one is, where is it? Fire Crawl With Me. There's too many windows open. Let me close a couple down. Fire Crawl With Me, Volume 1. Electronic rock, industrial experimental noise. I like the sound of that. This is a limited edition of 500. Yes, with 7 industrial dark ambient power noise bands. So yeah, on Balamurti Records, whatever the hell that is. But it's out of Italy in 2001. So it could be interesting. Could be total crap. Next one is a split LP by Lamour Too Young. And I thought when I read it originally it was Lamour Too Young. And the Drone Electric Lust from 2015. Let me bring up the Discogs listing, and where is it? There it is. So this was on Doubtful Sounds, Apartment Records, and a bunch of other, whatever, bunch of stuff. Basically 2 tracks, one by each, in psychedelic rock, experimental and drone, it says here. Limited edition to 300 copies. And is it? No, it's just on black. This says Europe. It doesn't specify which country. Lamour Too Young is, let's see, French group. Okay, sounds interesting. Cool. I like French. Could be pretty weird. And Drone Electric Lust. Where are they? Doesn't actually specifically say where they're from, but they sound very European. Right, okay. What else have we got? Jarrett Sails the Sea of Displacement on Dielectric Records. Let's see what we can find out about this one. Yes, from the US, well, released in the US from 2004, noisy experimental ambient. So, that is a good description, and it's enough to get me interested. And it's just on standard black vinyl. Whoops. These records are all in pretty good condition. He did say most of them had only ever been played once. Let's see who Jarrett is. Real name Jarrett Whitmer, sound and performance artist based in Oakland, California. He also operates record label profit. I can't say that. Agenda. Excuse me, I am semi-illiterate after all. This one here, I already have a copy, so I will flick this on or do something with it or trade it. But this is a New Zealand band called Olympus, Bold Mould. This is Stefan Neville and Patrick Krause, I think. Yes. Yeah. So I actually picked this up earlier in the year. So I knew that this was going to happen. That were some records that I already had. I won't need to say too much about this. This is Eugene Chadbourne. I'm sure some people are vaguely familiar with Eugene Chadbourne. He did a bit of work with John Zorn very early on in John Zorn's career. They got together and did some recordings, and I think Eugene was involved with some of John Zorn's early game pieces, like School or Hockey or whatever they were, whichever he was. But interesting, he's teamed up on this record with Evan Jones in the H-Bombs. Evan Johns and the H-Bombs, I don't have any of the records, but a friend of mine had a CD which he loaned me, and they were really cool. They were really cool, kind of rockabilly, punky rockabilly, stuff. They were really good. So, it'd be interesting to see what that turns out like. Another one I don't need to do too much looking up on Discogs. I'm sure many people are familiar with the John Spencer. It just says Blues Explosion on the front, but it says John Spencer Blues Explosion on the back. This was their... I might have to look up Discogs. I think it was their third LP. Let's have a look. Blues Explosion, it's listed under. Fourth LP from 1993. I'm familiar with John Spencer's Blues Explosion. Not really heard a lot of the music, a couple of tracks from way back in his early days, but I never actually got around to buying anything. Another American band from the early 90s, this one here, Let's Active, Cypress. Cypress is about their second album, or was it their first album? Hang on, where are you? There it is. This is, they're on IRS, which was, REM's original label from memory. But this is actually an illegal records release. Now, the illegal records was Australian version, but it doesn't say that anything about that on the cover. But it's got illegal records. No, it's actually the New Zealand version, because I've looked up on Discogs and I found the Australian version. So this is the New Zealand version, not on Discogs. Okay. So what are they? They are just a kind of, I don't know, indie rock band. That's what they are. Yeah, they're indie rock band. I had a quick listen to Site One. I thought they were English actually. Yeah, they formed in 1981 in North Carolina. Okay. Now this is interesting, and it's still sealed, and I haven't actually unsealed it. Wound. This is a guitar-centric compilation. Now I had seen this around. I was on Carbon Records, and it was released. When was it released? Wound. It was released last year. Now, so this turned up. I saw it down at the Lines of Flight Festival, where one of the members of the Vinyl Lovers of New Zealand, who was at that festival that I met for the first time, he scored a copy of this actually off Michael Morley, I believe. And Michael Morley is on this. I didn't bother with it at the time because I'd already spent too much money on other records, and it's got some New Zealanders on it. It's got Bruce Russell, it's got Campbell Neal, and he's the man who sold me this record, and it's got Michael Morley, and then I don't know if there's any other New Zealanders on here, but Riley Walker's a name I'm familiar with, but to be honest, the rest of the names I have no idea. So two album compilation. So I saw it down there, and I also seen it down at one of the record shops in Christchurch for $40. So I actually picked this up for less than $10. So happy chappy. Okay, Dell. $5 for an August moon. Let's have a look, see what have we got for that. Dell, there we go. Right, so Dell, this is from 2006. It says it was released in Norway. And it says space rock, psychedelic rock, avant-garde, experimental prog rock. Okay, I like the sound of that. So that could be quite interesting. So yeah, are they out of Norway? Dell, let's have a little look-see. Dell was formed in 1996. Oh, it's got Lasse Mahag. Ah, cool. Now he did an album with Bruce Russell, which I picked up recently, and I've only listened to it once, but I was really impressed. There's some pretty cool guitar going on there. So so there's a connection there. Okay, that's cool. Doesn't actually say what country they're from, but I guess they might be from Norway. All right, so looking forward to having a listen to that. Grey Datura. Owly Clawhammer? Okay, let's have a look. Where? Yep, Owly Clawhammer from Grey Datura. November 2007. Noise, doom, metal, and experimental are the descriptions on their listing on there for this. Limited to 490 hand screen printed copies, not numbered though. 2 tracks. Going to be pretty droney and noisy, I suspect. Where are they from? I guess they're from the Grey Datura. I guess they are from the US of A, and they have a small discography of half a dozen plus records. No, they did a split with Wolf Eyes. I've heard of Wolf Eyes. They did a split with Monarch too. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Actually, why is this not listed there? Hang on, bear with me please while I piss around. Oh, this is listed as a 12-inch EP. That's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't say how long the tracks are. So Black-Boned Angel is one of the bands one of the names that the man who sold me these records goes under. I actually just showed this on another video very recently due to the fact that I picked up a copy from the US with a bunch of other records which I purchased before these purchases became available on TradeMe. So that's cool. It's still sealed. I can flick that off. This is another one that's also still sealed. Yes. Our Love Will Destroy the World, Carnivorous Rainbows. I actually already have a copy of this as well. So again, I shall be able to trade this on and let it move it on somewhere else. Right, okay. And also, now, and this is what's actually playing in the background, Black-Boned Angels, The Witch Must Be Killed. This one isn't actually sealed, and it's on this orange, I had the orange vinyl version. And I'll just bring up the thing. So this is from 2010. It says it was released on Belgium on Conspiracy Records, and this is the orange version. Orange was limited to 125 copies, and if I go back to I've just cut my music off there. The Witch Must Be Killed, 2010. So this band, this is Campbell Neal basically, but there's 2 other people here. Oh, Jules Desmonds was in this. Oh, okay, he's on the, I've bought records off Jules. He's on the Vinyl Lovers page of New Zealand Facebook page. Okay, bear with me here. Okay, so yeah, 500 copies all up. 300 on black, 125 on orange, and 75 on clear green. Yes, okay. Couple to go. Right, I don't need to do too much looking up on this. Well, I will do. Klaus Schultz, Dune, on Brain Records from, God, that's a hard cover to see, isn't it? From 1979. I had to listen to some of this, and part 1 anyway. The reviews were that side 1 is the side of the best side of the record. 1979 on Brain, experimental, ambient, 2 side tracks with 30 minutes being the first track on side 1 that's the title track. Claus was in, let me just check, I should know this. What was he in? Ashra Temple. Okay, yeah, I don't have any issue. And Tangerine Dream and a bunch of other stuff. And he's done a lot of solo work. yeah, right from the early 70s. And the dog wants in. Come on then. Right, we're nearly through this lot. Sorry for it being so long. Right, what we got here, Nomex. Oh, let's have a look, see. Nomex. Here we go. I don't know if I can pronounce the name of this record very well, but it's called Tracante Gramophony EP. It's a 12-inch EP on white. Wow, it's actually clear vinyl. It says white transparent, but I call it, it doesn't want to come out of its cover, I call it clear vinyl. It says infinity RPM, so I don't know what speed I'm supposed to play it at, but it's got 6-7 tracks on it, so yeah, I don't know how it's going to be a very long EP or what. So it's a UK, so it doesn't have a cover, it just comes with this plain brown sleeve with the, what is it, a UK release from 1999, Nomex. It says electronic noise, breakcore. Oh no, this is interesting. Ah, there must be a New Zealand connection here. Nomex, real name Paul Kidd, breakcore noise producer based in New Zealand. Passed away in 2014 after a motorcycle crash at the age of 46. That's a real shame. Oh, okay, so I knew nothing about that. So yeah, a New Zealander, but he's, where is he? Based in New Zealand. So no, he's not, maybe not a New Zealander, but he was based in New Zealand. Oh, okay, you learn something new every day. So I don't know whether I would put that in my New Zealand collection or not. Okay, finally, a couple to go. A couple of EPs. I'll just bring the pages up. Right, let's shut some of these down. Okay, so Melted Mailbox is the label. I'll show them in a minute. Let me just bring that up. Series Melted Mailbox Series 1, it says. And so these are a series of, looks like single-sided limited edition of 700. B-side is etched. Is that the same one there? Yes, it is. Melted Mailbox, blah, blah, blah. Sub-label Melted Mailbox Series 1. Let's see what that says. Not any information at all on Melted Mailbox. But they are out of the US. So the two EPs that I got, and basically they just in a plastic sealed bag. Arrington D. Dionyso, and his one is called The True Folk Sound of Arrington D. Dionyso, and this is the cover there. There's a bit of plastic cardboard and with a name on it, and then a little kind of card there. And then this one is 000, as in 000 as in the letter, or oo, I don't know. And that's this one here, as it says oo there, 000. On the card, that's the cover. So they've got similar sort of artwork, as you can see. Described as, this one, Arrington's record is described as abstract experimental electronic jazz. The other one is electronic IDM, whatever that means, experimental. So, I don't know whether they'll be 45s or what they will, but yeah, there seems to be a whole series of these Melted Mailbox ones. Series 1. Don't know if there was ever a Series 2. There appears to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 releases. One of them being Ariel Pink. He's a name that I am familiar with. As a matter of fact, he just had a whole bunch of reissues turn up on Flying Out, I think, from memory. Or they're out and they're out. So, look, I've prattled on long enough. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too boring for you. If you're not really into that music, I guess, that's... just the way it is, but I mean, it's not a sort of music that everybody's going to be interested in at all, to be honest. It's pretty, yeah, I mean, there is some normal music there for a change, a bit of John Spencer and Let's Active, so yeah, that's lot's going to have to get cleaned up soon, and I will, yeah. I better get on. So I've work's really slowed down, which is why I'm actually sitting here this afternoon making videos instead of actually doing some work. And it's not a good time for it to slow down right before bloody Christmas, so that's going to make life a bit tricky over the period. But never mind, we'll get through it. I've got enough work to pay the bills, so records will slow down. I have got a couple on order coming in and back orders, waiting on those. Hopefully they'll all be here before Christmas. So I might get one more video before Christmas. I just hope that Campbell Neal hasn't got any more of these records for sale, because they're just too tempting to leave behind, and I'm picking them up pretty cheap. And yeah, they're pretty interesting music. Anyway, happy vinyl hunting, folks, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.